Now to a First Coast News investigation. A tip led us to this Clay County family who learned that their home health worker wasn't who he claimed to be. But they didn't find that out until their loved one died. Now they want to know why no one has been arrested. Retired U.S. Marine Sergeant Kensworth Moody was a fighter.
He always said Marines don't die.
He survived a kidney transplant and 2 heart attacks, but a brain injury took away his ability to talk.
And he was coming along. So some doctors say he was a miracle.
Sandra Moody, a registered nurse, says her husband needed around-the-clock care at their Clay County home.
He had tube feeding, trach care, he had G-tube care.
She says she found Bright Star Care through the VA. And did they know how to take care of him?
No, I had to teach them how to do it. If I wasn't a nurse, he couldn't stay here because there was no way because of the amount of care that he needed.
October 13th of last year, she was asleep in another room when her daughter, Kendra Moody, woke up to loud music coming from her father's room.
And I looked at the camera in his room before I came down here, and I saw the nurse. He was looking at his pulse ox machine, just with a confused look on his face.
I got you, Mr. Moody. Hold on.
But I went up to the bed and I touched my dad, and he was freezing cold.
A home camera in his room captured what happened.
I didn't mean to call 911.
She says surveillance video she later reviewed showed her father started having trouble breathing and became unresponsive 2 hours earlier.
He was gasping for air, and you can hear the pulse ox machine alarming and going off. And then after that, you don't hear it go off anymore, and you don't see his chest rise or fall. And he just was unresponsive.
Did he ever call 911?
No, he never did.
He just completely didn't do anything.
By the time paramedics arrived, it was too late.
Right away, we start digging.
They discovered the man who had been hired to care for their loved one and had been in their home multiple times
15 times.
wasn't who he claimed to be.
Something came over me that he was not a nurse.
When she looked him up on Facebook, her concerns were confirmed.
His name showed up with another person's face.
It was actually quite shocking.
Records show the nurse impersonator was using the name Derez Wiggum and had 2 active patients. We were able to track down the real Derez, who is a licensed practical nurse.
It's scary. It's scary for me as a nurse, and probably for other nurses too.
He told us he'd worked briefly for Bright Star and found out from a detective someone was pretending to be him.
The individual gave them my name and information, and, said that they were me and that they were a licensed practical nurse.
11 days after Moody died, the State Agency for Healthcare Administration, known as AHCA, issued an emergency suspension order for Bright Star Care of East Jacksonville, Neptune Beach, an independently owned and operated franchise with a Jacksonville address.
I just don't want him being pushed off. He was far from dying.
The order says video recordings revealed an unlicensed home health aide who represented himself as a licensed practical nurse using another person's name failed to alert Miss Moody when her husband started to show signs of respiratory distress, silenced the oxygen saturation monitor alarm, administered sugar water when his glucose monitor alerted, and after he became unresponsive, did not initiate CPR or call for help.
For you to walk into a house and pretend that you're a nurse to take care of somebody who's sick, what do you expect to happen?
An AHCA investigation revealed a slew of problems at the Bright Star franchise. The emergency suspension order says the customer care coordinator had a warrant for her arrest for fraud, and the director of nursing was facing criminal charges related to a shooting in Jacksonville. The order also says the company billed for services not provided and placed patient health, safety, and welfare at immediate risk.
I need that this never happens to any veteran.
The Moody's don't understand why no one has been arrested.
I just want justice for my husband's death because I know he depended on me to be his voice, and I felt like I was robbed of that.
Now, the Agency for Healthcare Administration declined our request for a comment. In Florida, it's a felony to impersonate a nurse or knowingly employ someone who's unlicensed. The Clay County Sheriff's Office says because there's an active investigation surrounding Kensworth Moody's death, they cannot do an interview right now. Now, today, I spoke with the state attorney's office, and after seeing our story, they tell me they are following up on the Clay County investigation. And we also reached out to the head of the Bright Star franchise. He hung up on me and did not return my calls or emails. A spokesperson for the Bright Star corporate team says the safety and well-being of its clients is their top priority, and they're working with authorities. They have now terminated the local franchise agreement. You can read their full statement in this story on firstcoastnews.com, and we will continue to follow it.